There we go. All right, all right. Good afternoon and welcome to the BFTAA and More Show. I am your host, Louis George Walker, and glad that you can join me this evening. If you notice, I got a little hat on my head here, but trying to stop some of that glare. I don't have a lot of powder right now. I need to get some, but yeah, top of my head seemed to be shining a little bit in that last video. So I thought I'd do a little something and cover it up a bit. Hey, but how are you doing? It is Monday. That's right, Monday, the start of another fine week here in Kansas City, Missouri, and you're listening to KUAW Radio. Yes, that's Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, a project of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, BFTAA, and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Yes, we come together to form this radio station, and we're glad to bring you news and information and some of the things that you don't hear every day, everywhere. So we're about what's going on in the community. Also, some of the things that are going on in the community that we can take out to the rest of the world. So we're glad that you're joining us here. Black Family Technology Awareness Associations has been working in the Kansas City area for about 17, 18 years now. We started in 2004, so we're pushing on 18, going toward 20. And the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center has been tutoring and educating young people for 45 years in the Kansas City area. So together we have over 60 years of working in the community to do things to help make the community better. So we're about ending the digital divide. The BFTAA organization started to end the digital divide that exists in the African American community and to make broadband access more, what do we want to say, in the community more. We wanted to have a deeper penetration of broadband in the urban core of Kansas City. And they're still working on that. We've been working on it for quite a few years. And the thing is that we have some access, but there's still in ways that it's not there yet. And there's been a lot of things to hold it up, to keep it from getting there. But what we need to have is broadband going into every household that's in the Kansas City area. Everybody, especially households with children, but even those that don't have any children need to have broadband access. But not only have broadband access, but then you have to have the knowledge and the information to be able to work with the broadband internet access. And that's a thing that comes along with this, is that we want to make sure that people are trained, educated, and able to work with that technology that is coming along. Because the digital divide hurts generations. You know, it's not just that your mother and father don't use it, but then a lot of times the kids don't see a value in it. Then as we go farther into society, as they grow and learn, they're not using that tool that can help them with education, that can help them with just gaining knowledge and news and information from a lot of different sources. And we know we have to do research to learn about anything. And the internet is one good way. It's not the only way. And you don't do just one type of research, but it is a good way to get some research in. You can read books from around the world. You can actually visit places and see things. See a lot of them now in 3D or 360-degree immersions that make things so much better for us. So hopefully, if you don't have the internet at home, if you're watching this, I assume you do, but if you have friends or families that don't, encourage them to start becoming digitally literate, to take some classes, to take courses. There are a lot of basic computer courses that are offered for absolutely free. You can do some of them online. You can go to community centers and libraries and do some and learn. So there's a lot of ways that we can become more digitally literate, and that's something that we want. That's something that our community needs, that we have to be able to go online to be able to keep up with a lot of things that are going on. If nothing else, this pandemic has taught us a lot about being able to go online. A lot of things that we used to could do as far as going to the store or talking to your doctor and stuff, people had to learn how to do a lot of that stuff online. And that's something that we need to be able to do. So we want to continue our fight to eliminate the digital divide that exists in the African American community. Now, we talk about a lot of things that have been happening. There's some big news going on today. Before we go into, because we usually do NASA and what's going on with NASA, but we do want to let you know, if you haven't heard the news, is that Elon Musk has now purchased Twitter. So they accepted the offer from Elon Musk. Twitter is going to be going private, so you won't be able to buy any more stock. If you don't have stock in Twitter now, you won't get it. So, they've already halted trading on it. So those people that had shares in Twitter, they got a premium price for it, so they made some money, and that almighty dollar talks. And now that that they've done that and that the trading has been halted, you probably won't be able to get in on making any money off of Twitter. So that's that, and we'll read a little bit more about that and tell you a little bit more about that later on. But that was a big news story, so I wanted to get it out there as fast as I could. I think I heard it about 3 o'clock, 2:30 or 3, that they had accepted the offer from Elon Musk. So at first they were saying they didn't want to do it, or they were going to put a poison pill in. Then after they thought about it, they said, that's a whole lot of money. We might as well go ahead and do it. They could take the money and run. So that's the new thing is that Elon Musk will be running Twitter, and Twitter will be a private company. So that means it won't be on the stock exchange. You won't know if it's making money, losing money, if things they did are working out good or working out bad. I saw one thing on CNN, I think that Donald Trump has already said he's not going back to Twitter, even if they asked him to. Of course, you never know how that'll work out either. He probably will. I wouldn't doubt it. But Elon Musk now is in control of Twitter, and we'll see if he can do better with it. I also heard that Facebook, or Meta, the parent company of Facebook, their stock plunged today because of their earnings were down. So a lot of things going on in the tech world. We'll talk about those. But first, we want to talk a little bit about what's going on at NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And one thing I didn't look up, I wanted to get some more information on, is the space economics, or the economy that's starting to get built in space. So if you want to look at somewhere where there's getting ready to be a boom, look towards space. There's more in it. There was a launch over the weekend, I think, for a little while, of an all-private launch. There was no military people or government people involved in it. This was a private industry launch. So companies will soon be vying for the opportunities to go to space. There's money, there's a market out there. If they go back to the moon, and the moon is able to find valuable stuff there, minerals, whatever, then they're starting to vie and line up and get ready to start doing that. So that's going to be one of the next things coming up, is that race to the moon and beyond. So you might look at that. If you're looking for a career or an investment opportunity, those may be ways to do or to go. All right. So we're going to look at, as we always do, what's going on at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, better known as NASA, that does a lot of our space exploration, or pioneered the United States space exploration, but also is involved in a lot of land and air research and development. But we always like to stay up on what's going on at NASA. So we're going to show you what's going on at NASA, and then we're going to show you a little bit of space to ground as we get ready to go back and talk about Elon Musk and Twitter and some other things that are going on in the digital world. So let's sit back and see what's going on this week at NASA.
The next crew of astronauts heading to the space station, an update on our Artemis 1 mega moon rocket and spacecraft, and celebrating our home planet. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On April 18th, the astronauts of our SpaceX Crew-4 mission arrived at our Kennedy Space Center to prepare for their launch to the International Space Station. NASA's Kjell Lindgren, Bob Hines, and Jessica Watkins, along with Samantha Cristoforetti of the European Space Agency, are excited about their scientific expedition to the station.
We've been training for many, many months, and we're seeing all those boxes getting checked off, and it's very exciting now to have this box checked off. We're here at Kennedy Space Center, looking forward to our launch here in the very near future.
The mission is the 4th crew rotation flight to the station on a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft as part of NASA's Commercial Crew program. NASA is reviewing schedules and options to conduct the next wet dress rehearsal test of our Space Launch System or SLS rocket and Orion spacecraft at our Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The agency has decided to roll the Artemis 1 Mega Moon rocket and spacecraft back to the vehicle assembly building to replace a valve and repair a leak, while an off-site supplier of gaseous nitrogen used for the test makes upgrades to their systems. You can follow NASA's Artemis blog for status updates on the test at blogs.nasa.gov/Artemis. In celebration of Earth Day, we hosted a free public event at Union Station in Washington, D.C. The 3-day event, which kicked off on April 22nd, featured information about NASA science, live demonstrations, and other family-friendly activities. In conjunction with this in-person event, we also hosted Earth Day celebrations online that began with live events on April 22nd. The online activities will continue to be available on demand through May 2nd. This includes some content that is also available in Spanish. Learn more at nasa.gov/Earth Day. Our X-59 quiet supersonic experimental aircraft is back at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works facility in Southern California after months of critical ground tests in Texas. The testing was conducted to ensure the aircraft could withstand the loads and stresses of supersonic flight. The X-59 will now undergo further testing and development as engineers continue making progress toward its first demonstration flights over communities around the U.S. starting in 2024. On April 18th, cosmonauts Oleg Artemyev and Denis Matveyev of Roscosmos completed a 6-hour and 37-minute spacewalk outside the International Space Station. The pair installed and connected a control panel for the 37-foot-long European robotic arm mounted to the Nauka Multipurpose Laboratory module. This was the 249th spacewalk for space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/Twan.
All right. So that's what's going on at NASA today. You see a lot of things going on in the space program. So we're not going to dally with any more conversation right now. We're going to go right into the browser Space to Ground so that you can see that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the tech atmosphere around Kansas City and other places. So let's go right now to Space to Ground.
With a full crew complement on board the space station, the orbiting laboratory is as busy as ever. Earlier this week, Roscosmos cosmonauts Oleg Artemyev and Denis Matveyev concluded the 249th spacewalk in support of the orbiting laboratory. The duo spent 6 hours and 37 minutes on their EVA and completed their major objectives, which included the installation of handrails onto Nauka's external shell and of a control panel for the new European robotic arm. The European robotic arm is a 37-foot-long manipulator system mounted to the recently arrived multi-purpose laboratory module and will be used to move spacewalkers and payloads around the Russian segment of the station. During the next Russian spacewalk, scheduled for Thursday, April 28th, the
spacewalkers will continue their work to ready the new robotic arm for service. Friday, April 22nd is Earth Day, and one of the best ways to study our home planet is off of it. The International Space Station offers a unique vantage point for studying Earth from more than 200 miles above it. Multiple Earth-observing instruments are mounted on the exterior of the station's modules, including a limb full of cameras, science observers, and tools that hang off the edge of the station's Japanese experiment module. We're studying the role of plants in the carbon cycle, tracking the ozone, and the total energy flowing into Earth from the sun. This research is advancing numerous climate records and models. Earth-orbiting CubeSats are also regularly deployed from the station's airlock. Crews spend time each week taking photos of the planet from the orbiting lab's windows, and the astronauts even conduct Earth science experiments. All of this work provides insight into the climate of our home and how we might prepare for coming changes. We also invite you to view the Season 2 premiere of the NASA series Down to Earth. Astronaut Sunny Williams kicks off the new season with a conversation about viewing our home planet from 250 miles above. Earlier this week, the members of Crew 4 landed at NASA's Kennedy Space Center ahead of their upcoming launch. The crew will continue their final preparation for their mission, which will be NASA and SpaceX's fourth crew rotation mission of the SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft to the space station. NASA astronauts Lindgren, Hines, Watkins, and ESA astronaut Cristoforetti are scheduled to launch from Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. If you want to watch any of NASA's full live coverage of upcoming events in space and on the ground, head over to NASA Television, the NASA app, or the agency's website. That's Space to Ground for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
All right. Yeah, that was Space to Ground, and we're glad that we were able to bring that to you. Things that are going on up there in space and down here on Earth are very important to us all the way around. I'd like to tell you a thing that I did pick up, saw today is, Black Tech Week. Black Technology Week, or Black Tech Week, is going to be happening July 18th through the 23rd in Cincinnati, Ohio. One thing that you may want to see about checking out, Black Tech Weeks creates connections, opportunities, and forums for founders to connect with other founders, tech talent, educational programming, and investors. So that's one thing you want to check out. They're going to have 50-plus speakers, over 60 sessions, and it will be coinciding with the Cincinnati Music Festival that'll be going on. So all that's happening in Cincinnati starting in July the 18th through the 23rd. So you may want to check out Black Tech Week there. It seems like it's going to be a pretty big thing. It's something that we should be bringing to Kansas City. We definitely will do the Black Family Technology Awareness Week coming in February of 2023. But Black Tech Week seems to be a nice thing going on in Cincinnati. I may have to try and get up that way myself to see a little of what's going on. There may be some things of interest. These are things that we would go to. And you can also view it live. So there's going to be a lot going on there. So be sure and check out Black Tech Week that's going on in Cincinnati. Another thing that's going on is Black Technology Policy Week. Yeah, that's happening now. I think it starts today, this evening at 6 o'clock. Black Tech Policy Week is a free and live virtual gathering that places Black lives at the epicenter of tech policy, from public interest technology, broadband infrastructure dollars, Black digital entrepreneurship, and municipal Black tech ecosystems. This week cultivates Black joy for Black future. So if you're interested in that, Black Tech Policy Week, you can sign up, register for it. It's free, and it starts today. Go to www.blackfutures.com, blacktechfutures.com. So www.blacktechfutures.com and register for the Black Tech Policy Week 2022. Today, they're going to start 6:30 this evening with a couple of things going on. Funding Black Tech Futures, a philanthropic strategy between foundations and federal agencies. So that's one thing you want to check out if you're in need of funding a business, entrepreneurship, an organization, a nonprofit. This starts at 6:30 this evening, funding Black Tech Futures, a philanthropic strategy between foundations and federal agencies. The other thing that's happening this evening is using federal digital equity dollars to build on-the-ground black tech ecosystems. So that's what's coming on tonight, using federal digital equity dollars to build on-the-ground black tech ecosystems. I think some of that's already being done. Melissa Robinson, STEAM Village in the 3rd District, they're already working on this black tech ecosystem. I think that's good, and we hopefully have a good use of that. So things are going on in that sphere, and that's tonight. Tomorrow night, they're going to talk about HBCUs, or harbingers, leaders, and critiques of the public interest technology. So the HBCUs are harbingers, leaders, and critics of the public interest technology. And the second session tomorrow night, data and tech. Black women public interest technologists talk about algorithms, censorship, surveillance, security, safety issues affecting black communities. So all of these start at 6:30. They run from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. There's 2 sessions each evening. Wednesday, we need a computer science for all social justice movement to build machine learning Black Joy data sets. That starts Wednesday, 6:30, first session. Second session, a conversation with race and tech centers and building thriving black tech futures. And on the Thursday, April the 28th, telehealth for black communities and the policies needed to institutionalize it. So telehealth for black communities and the policies needed to institutionalize it is going to be on Thursday, starting at 6:30. Then there is no black tech future without black churches, mosques, and other black faith traditions. They are anchor institutions in local black tech ecosystems. So that's one thing for Thursday evening. There is no black tech future without black churches, mosques, and other black faith traditions. They are anchor institutions in local black tech ecosystems. So if you want to learn about that or hear some talks about how the churches, the mosque, and other faith-based institutions can help or are involved in the black tech ecosystem, that's going to be Thursday evening. And then Friday, April the 29th, starting at 6:30, Black Digital Entrepreneurship, from micro businesses, TikTok influencers, and the future of all black businesses being online. That's going to be the starting point. And the last event of the evening is a Stream Sankofa moment. Black content through the lens of traditional broadcast to diving into the metaverse and policy. So we're going to talk about streaming, or they're going to talk about streaming after they talk about the black digital entrepreneurship part. So that's all this week, every evening starting at 6:30. Register for it so you can learn about it, so you can see how we can get involved in things that might spike our interest that we can do here in Kansas City, or that we can collaborate with other cities in doing something and building this ecosystem that not only encompasses our neighborhood, but neighborhoods throughout the Midwest, in Topeka, in Wichita, in St. Louis or Columbia, in Joplin and St. Joe. Those are just some ideas right around here that are we cooperating, are we collaborating on building that tech ecosystem that reaches beyond just our geographical area, because with the technology that we have nowadays, we should be thinking globally. Like this radio station, KUAW is a global community radio station, not just for Kansas City, but for all over. So we welcome you to contact us, to work with us, to bring your innovative ideas to KUAW. Get in touch with us if you have an idea, if it's something that you want to talk about or you think that can be improved or worked on. Go to www.kuaw.org. There you'll see ways to contact us. We have phone numbers, we have emails, you can send up smoke signals, anything to get your message to us. We would definitely love to hear from you. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. This is Kansas City's global community radio station. Tell your friends about it. Like and share this video. Tell them that you're learning about the Black Tech Policy Week, Black Tech Futures, things that are going on. I was looking at the Black Tech Futures Research Institute and things that they are doing. All of this is going on. There's a lot of people doing things, and sometimes we just don't know about it. How many of you know about the Black Innovation Alliance? Oh, yeah, there is one. The Black Innovation Alliance I was looking at, and they have a manifesto out. So we need to get that. It says, we ensure that black ownership is increasing through fair participation in the innovation economy. We are not a traditional coalition, but a distributed network committed to shared power, mutual advancement, and collaborative decision-making. So that is the vision of the Black Innovation Alliance, and we have to do it. It has come from us. This is part of their manifesto. Wait a minute, let me see if that's where we're at right now. Yeah. So want to contact them. They have a lot of young, not just young, but a lot of young and old black entrepreneurs, thinkers and stuff that are working together. Black people have power. Our talent and ideas have value. We envision a world where black prosperity is as abundant as black genius. So that's the thing that we have to do. Black prosperity is money in our pockets, assets in our accounts, and land in our names. So when you talk about prosperity, it's not one, but they look at it as more than one. It says prosperity is money in our pockets, assets in our accounts, and land in our names. Black prosperity fuels communities brimming with joy, resilience, opportunity, and peace. It is a state of being in which black people experience health in mind, body, and spirit, and have the emotional space to build strong and loving bonds. Black prosperity empowers us to use our gifts to rise to the highest heights and live life to its fullest. In black prosperity, we seek a freedom that has eluded us for 400 years. So they're talking about doing some things with our people and doing it ourselves. We have to bring that about. You know, we have to be it. So that's the thing. It says, we claim the right for black people to profit fully from our contributions to this age of innovations. We are the Black Innovation Alliance, an entity comprising support organizations that serve three types of black innovators: founders of high-tech growth tech companies, entrepreneurs leading small and medium-sized business focused on long-term and sustainable growth, creative technologists, and artists who use emerging technologies as their mediums. So that's the thing that they're doing. This alliance believes that there is great power in our unity, and we will leverage that power by using capital, education, public policy, research, and media as our cudgels and our change agents. These cultural building blocks are essential for designing our shared future, building it, and then bringing it to the masses. So check them out. Go to the web. Look at it. You may want to contact them. They've got some more information on it, but it's the Black Innovation Alliance. And as you talk about innovation within our communities, that's what it's going to take for us to move forward. We have to think, as you've heard probably time and time again, outside the box. We want to think outside the box. We don't even want to know that there's a box there that we're thinking outside of. We want to think far away from that in order to innovate and to bring a change in this world. So, you know, that was a good thing that came up. I wanted to give you that information. Be sure and sign up. I've already signed up so that I can go online and pick this up this evening to start off the Black Tech Futures and get some of the panels and that information. So I'll be doing that today. Or this evening, we'll be getting some of that information, and hopefully we can bring it to you guys so that you can hear maybe some repeats of that if they'll let me. We'll find out. But thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. And thank you for listening and watching KUAW Radio, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, coming to you from Kansas City's W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, located at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard in Kansas City, Missouri. So we're glad that you're here, and we hope that you will tell a friend, that you will like and share this content. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and you can pick up all the shows that we bring. We've got a lot of live shows that we bring from people here in Kansas City, and we'd like for you to hear their voices. Excuse me. We'd like for you to hear their voices. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can go back into the playlist and see some of our past shows, the different artists that are on, and the different topics that are covered right here at KUAW Radio. KUAW Radio's been around since 2015. We continue to grow, we continue to change, and to innovate, as it says, with that innovation, that we can do more things remotely now than we could prior to the pandemic. We can also bring you a little better live content than we did. And we've also got more syndicated shows coming in right now. So you're able to hear the voices from Miami, Florida area, some that are coming from the Chicago area. So just check us out, see what we got, and you might like it. Go to our webpage, www.kuaw.org, or go to our Facebook page at KUAW-Radio. Join the conversation there. Post something about this show, about the shows that you've seen, or about this station and the opportunities that are being brought to the community. Also, we're working with some students right now. They're putting together a podcast from the Guadalupe Center, and we're going to be meeting with them tomorrow. They're getting ready to do some interviews, man-on-the-street interviews. So we've worked with 5 young seniors that are graduating this year, and they're putting together their project. They're going to have to present it and show what they've learned before school's out. I think we've got about 3 more weeks. So the podcast team, the independents, and they're independent broadcasters, but the independent broadcast team is going to be doing some man-on-the-street interviews. And if you happen to be around the Plaza area, not this week, but hopefully we'll get there next week, we'll have the students, and they're going to be asking some questions about some of the topics that they've been working on and recording them in some man-on-the-street interviews. So we'll be down on the Country Club Plaza week after next. I'll give you some more information. We should have it pretty firmed up as to what days next Monday when I'm on the show here. So if you want to come down to the Country Club Plaza here in Kansas City, for those of you that are around here know, come down and look for KUAW Radio. We're going to be down there with the podcast group, the Independents from Guadalupe Centers. And the young people have really been working hard and putting together this project to do this podcast with Man on the Street, what they call Voice Pop. So we're going to do some Voice Pop interviews that'll be going on right here in Kansas City. And if you're in the area, come down. Maybe they'll stop you and ask you for a question or two. Come by. We're going to start at Nichols Fountain and then go around the plaza. So come down and join us. All right. So that's going to be a good thing, and I look forward to it. I'm a little nervous, but I know that the kids can handle it. So we're gonna see how that works out. But that's what we have to do. We have to work with our young people and give them opportunities to learn, to grow, to stretch their imaginations, to do whatever it is that they have their heart's desire to do. You never know. We may have some budding public speakers or some reporters or different type of communicators, or they just may build their self-confidence in whatever field that they go into by knowing they've accomplished this task and they're ready to take on something else, even if they had no experience in it before. So that's what we do here at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We work with young people with robotic competitions, and most of the kids that we get definitely haven't been in a robotic competition, but have never built a robot or put together any kind of machinery that moves or that works and stuff. So they're learning that they can do more than they even thought that they may be able to do. And that's where you get kids to grow, to stretch their imaginations, to stretch their skills and learning. And we like doing that. It's a wonderful thing to see kids learning when that light comes on, that smile comes on their face, and they say, yeah, we did it. It's working. It's doing its thing. So it's always good to work with the young people. All right, so now, changing subjects, we want to go into this deal with Elon Musk and the purchase of Twitter. Do you think it's a good or a bad thing? Twitter as a private entity, will it be good? Elon Musk as an owner, will that be good or bad? Not sure. Time is going to tell. Elon Musk has had run-ins with Twitter. He's criticized Twitter. He is a businessman, so we'll see if he can do anything with Twitter or if it ends up having to go back public after it loses money, or does it rise and become even bigger than what it is now? Elon Musk is one of the Earth's, if not the richest, one of the richest men. I heard that his net worth is around $207 billion. Most of that's in Tesla stock, but that's still a whole lot of money, $207 billion. So his offer was accepted. The stock closed at up 5.64% for the day after it was halted for the news. So they may be going. It says he offered to buy the company at $54.20 per share. He said that was his best and final offer. He didn't want to negotiate about it. It wasn't going up or nothing. So that offer valued Twitter at about $43 billion. Let's say they're considering all the shares that he has to buy, because he has to buy everybody's shares for the $54.20 per share. So everybody will have to sell their shares and will get paid for it. I don't know if I have any shares in it. We do have a financial planner that has been working with us that has money invested in a lot of different things, and I don't know what all of them are. But we might have a share or two of Twitter. I don't think we have any big stake in any one company. But, and that's one thing that we have to look at is are we investing our money wisely? And investing money can help make your money work for you. Not a bad deal. One of the things that I've been doing is seeking a professional, working with a financial planner to kind of handle that for us. And if you don't have a financial planner, you may consider getting one, especially if you're looking near retirement or you're thinking of retirement. But even if you're not there yet, if you're young, if you start planning and learning about investing now, you may be in a lot better shape in your future. Most people my age or older, if you talk to them and they'll say, boy, I sure wish I'd have started saving or investing money before now or years ago. If I'd have started earlier, I'd even be better off. But then there's a few people I know that did start early and have nice nest eggs to retire on, or to transition into that next phase of life. So if you're not an investor and you don't have to play the market and stuff, you may want to get a financial advisor to just kind of help you decide what your future goals are and how to get there. And that would be a good thing to do. But yeah, Elon Musk is worth big bucks. But assuming that the deal closes and Musk takes ownership of Twitter, the company will be controlled by the world's richest person and someone who's been a heavy critic of the platform while using it in legally contentious ways, mostly through sensitive posts about his car manufacturer, Tesla. And that was a thing that that did happen with Elon Musk, is that he made some remarks online about what's going to happen or what's going on with stock, and the Security and Exchange Commission is tasked to look after that you don't do insider trading or you don't drive up a price on speculation that, you're letting a secret out and make everybody buy something, and then it turns out to not be so. So there's things in that had got Elon Musk in some trouble, and it's not that Twitter got him into trouble. The Security and Exchange Commission will look at that even as a private Twitter holder, but I don't think he's going in there just to be able to say, because he still can't say what he wants to say if it goes afoul of the Security and Exchange Commission. But the thing is going, it said that at first the Twitter board didn't think that he was serious, or they tried to fend it off when he bought 9% of the company. They offered him a seat on the board of directors, but he turned that down. And then they had started this, what they call a poison pill, that meant that if anybody bought 15% of the outstanding common stock, the plan would dilute the person's holdings by issuing a lot more stock. So one of the things that they were setting up is that if they want to stop a hostile takeover, if a person says, well, I'm going to own 15% of the company, at a certain point when you get closer or at 15%, they can issue thousands more shares of the stock, and all of a sudden you don't own 15% no more because there's so many more shares out, splitting shares or just making more shares available. But that can also lower everybody's income in the deal. But that's the thing that they were looked at. And then they thought that the price was too low at first because that it went above that price, but partially it went above that price because he had mentioned he was thinking about buying it or becoming a controlling partner in it. So that was a thing. Now he's putting up $21 billion, it says, in equity financing. So he's got $21 billion of his own stock or money or whatever that he's putting up, and he secured $25.5 billion in debt financing from Morgan Stanley, senior funding and other firms. So once the Wall Street guys got in, the big banks got in on it, then the board started looking at it a little bit different. If Elon was talking about just trying to get his money together, they said, I don't know. But then Morgan Stanley, that's all that Wall Street trading and stuff. They're saying, well, we got to get a piece of this action too. So as they come in, then all of a sudden it seems like a good deal to everybody. So it's going to be interesting to see how that comes out. But he did have a investigation on him when he had made some talks about he was going to take Tesla private and that he had secured funding for it. And that was kind of raising the stock price because people figure if you're going to take it private, you're going to offer everybody big money in order to turn over their shares and stuff, and then he didn't do it, so that was a thing that got him in trouble with the Securities Exchange Commission. But it will be interesting because he does want to, he says, make it better, that he sees that Twitter has some problems. Let's see, I think they had in this same article what some of the things he wants to do to make this a little bit better. Let's see. I know one thing he said he wants to do is get rid of the bots that are on there, the artificial people, that he wants to make sure that everybody that's on there is a real person, and that he wants to open it up. He says he thinks that the market's been too conservative, or the talk market, they've been shutting down free speech of more conservative speakers. And too liberal in California. It might be one reason he's moving his headquarters, or he's moved the headquarters out of California, which is considered a liberal state, to Texas, which is a much more conservative state. So Tesla's headquarters have now moved into Texas, where it is heavily conservative. So I don't know for sure, but maybe Elon Musk is a little bit more Republican, and a lot of big business people are. I mean, the Republican Party has been known for kind of catering to big business, but both parties kind of do in a way, because that money is what's needed to make things work. So here's the richest man, and he's moving into Texas. He's been complaining that free speech is being stifled. Yeah, we'll see how this comes out, how this business deal works, how Twitter looks in the years to come, because it's not all going to change overnight. And then there's a thing going on right now where in the internet, and in the not just the internet, but mainly in social media, things are constantly changing. I mean, how many of you remember having a Black Planet account? You know, there's been a lot of communications platforms that have came and went. Twitter or Facebook, they've been around a long time, but now you've got upstarts like Twitter, TikTok, Facebook and YouTube and them kind of bought off some of their competition before. Instagram was eating into Facebook, but they bought them. But now you've got TikTok coming up, and they're starting to get the attention of a lot of people. There's always a movement. So getting Twitter now, Twitter is a mature company. It's been around a while. Will it stay? You know, or are things constantly in movement on that social media sites? So we'll see as the time goes what's going to be true and what's not. But I thank you for listening to me rant and ramble a little bit of what's going on out there. But be sure and check out the Black Innovation Alliance and also Black Tech Futures Week. Go to www.blacktechfutures, that's all one word, .com. And you want to then go to /Black Tech Policy Week 2022. So it should be on their webpage. Be sure and check it out. Also check out the Black Innovation Alliance. Well, that's all my time. I've been over just a little bit. Be sure and join me again next Monday for the BFTAA and More show. We're on from 5 to 5:45 or 5:48 as it is today. But, you know, this is George Walker, KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station, saying thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Like, share, and subscribe to KUAW Radio. We'll see you next week, I think.